Yo, what's up, guys? Hope you guys all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Crypto market waking up. Looks like it's waking up. Bitcoin over here, pumping, guys, up 2.3 odd percent today. Our long is looking good. Our long is up 22% with no leverage. We've obviously leveraged this about 10x, and we're smiling, guys. We're smiling. We've absolutely nailed this move. We've nailed the Bitcoin move, and it is time to, in my opinion, move into altcoins. Guys, I have covered the top few altcoins that I think are going to rip for the rest of the year. That was last week. We are going to go over it again, okay? Why am I so bullish? Well, price action is very bullish, guys. This is extremely bullish. Bitcoin is pumping. Bitcoin is above 92K. 92K has been the level that I've waited for Bitcoin to reclaim, and 92K is the line in the sand between strong and weak. It's obviously the 50% level from all-time high to the recent low over there, 92K. Now, this move's been relentless. There's been no pullbacks. It's been very tough to get into the markets because no one got in when the time was right, guys. When we broke out over here, we went long. We obviously front run that long after the bullish divergence, massive candle up. And the break of structure was the confirmation, obviously the reclaim of the 50 and 200-day EMAs, avoiding the golden cross, and away we go, okay? Bitcoin is strong. Nothing weak about Bitcoin at the moment. If it goes below 92K, something like that, then, you know, maybe we can look to close our position, something like that. I'm still 100% in this trade, haven't taken any profits. I'm looking for much higher levels, which we can discuss later on in the show. But 92K is the gift, guys. If we ever get 92K again, don't even think, just buy, okay? So that's Bitcoin, much higher levels to come, in my opinion. Bullish, there's nothing bearish about Bitcoin, nothing bearish about Bitcoin. As soon as it reclaims 100K, which will probably be the headline tomorrow, expect retail to flood, guys. Retail are going to flood. Everyone's going to go FOMO, and this thing's going to go ape. This is what happens every time. Solana looking good. Nice breakout. Obviously was waiting for a daily candle. I got stopped out of my trade. I was in from about here, and I put my stop at break even, and I got stopped out. So I'm not actually in a Solana trade. I've got a lot of spot Solana. If you are in a Solana trade, you're looking for $180 odd, okay? This is going to be resistance, obvious resistance. Look, resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke through, support, support. Massive rejection from there obviously led to the crack of the range low. $180 to $200, massive resistance in the zone here. If Solana can get above $196, above the 50% level, expect higher prices, guys. Expect higher prices for Solana. Ethereum, ripping. You took the Solana trade. Congrats on taking the Solana trade. It's cooking. Okay, Ethereum looking really good. Spoken about Ethereum, guys. We haven't had the break of structure yet. The break of structure will come if we break these highs created towards the end of March, okay? That comes in at 2,100 around there. That will be the break of structure. If we do break that structure, expect the bullish market structure to play out, and you'll get something like this, guys. Bullish, higher highs, higher lows, throughout into a blow off top. This happens every time, okay? So Ethereum looking good. But there's no confirmation, guys. We still want to break 2,100. If we break 2,100, it's looking good. Okay, so now what I like about Ethereum is that it's finally got above its 50-day EMA. It's obviously been in a massive downtrend since losing the EMA over there. This is looking scary. You're going to chop around. And as soon as, you know, you're below the 200 and the 50, it is looking scary. And that is when the strong trending moves begin. And as you can see, we had a strong trending move to the downside. So this is the first sign and symptom of a bullish trend. Okay, we got bullish market structure over here. On the lower term time frames, creating higher highs and higher lows. On the small term time frames, obviously 2,100 we're still clear. Now, ETH is finally above the 50-day EMA, and it's most likely going to close above the 50-day EMA today. If it doesn't, probably huge rejection, and we keep going to the downside. But we haven't been above the 50-day EMA since this period over here. Okay, since basically the start of the year. We've been caught below the 50-day EMA. Okay, so this is a potential shift in trend, of course. What I would look to plan for Ethereum would be a trending move to the upside. We'll probably find rejection at the 200-day EMA, come back, test this as support, and then move up, onwards and upwards like that. Okay, I am in the trade from 1,810 odd. Stop loss below here. I think this is going to play out. take profits, $4,000. Okay, it's ambitious. It's a swing trade. It's not a scalp trade. I'm going to be holding this one for a while. Okay, let's get into USDT dominance because this is cracked, guys. This has cracked to the downside. You can see we have lost this key level over here. Next stop is this 4.6 to 4.7%. This is an obvious zone. Okay, support over here, resistance over there, little SR region over here. And now we are below the 50% level from the recent December lows to the April highs, obviously inverse to Bitcoin. We're finally in the weaker half of the range. And once we're in the weaker half of the range, you can expect weak price action from USDT dominance, hence strong price action from crypto. Okay, crypto's looking good. We've finally broken down this 50% level. I've got a little idea here that USDC dominance, this is traded more with the blue chips, your Ethereums and your Bitcoins, and USDT dominance is your altcoins. So now that this has lost the 50% level, I'm expecting altcoins to rip, guys. Just because USDT dominance has lost the 50% level, this is when it becomes risk on, guys. Think about it. In November, altcoins pumped, risk on. Okay, altcoins pumped in November when USDT dominance fell to the downside. So I'm expecting something very similar soon. Obviously, expect some kind of support to be found here, something like that. But these moves will be quick and fast, and I do think altcoins are going to rip. I'm going to go into some altcoins now that I am liking, but we can chat about that now. So USDT dominance, I'm targeting 4.65% before pullback. USDC dominance, I am targeting the 50% and the 200-day EMA. This is lining up over here. I have been bearish on USDC dominance and bullish on the crypto market since we lost the 50-day EMA. We've really struggled to reclaim it, even in the slightest over there, struggled to reclaim it. And we had the rejection of the 50-day EMA on both USDT dominance and USDC dominance. And this is falling and front running the markets. This broke down first. So I'm seeing USDC dominance front run the market, and I'm going to be watching USDC dominance as well as USDT dominance for potential top. Remember that we got a double bottom on the USDC dominance, so I'm expecting this to come into the zone again. But this will obviously be a zone where I think a pullback for the crypto market will happen. This can still be a while, guys. USDC dominance, that is. But we'll have to tie it in with USDT dominance and see what happens, guys. And we'll have to see what happens over there. So those are those charts. Total, it looks like scenario 1 is playing out. I had 3 scenarios. One was a bearish scenario, which I've taken away now. But the first scenario is a break of $3 trillion, tested as support, and then away we go. Scenario 2, which I think is the more likely one, would be a chop in this period here. We could come a lot higher, I don't know. But a potential chop in the zone over here. Maybe we come in, we get a higher low or a little sweep, I don't know. But ultimately, $3 trillion is the level to claim, guys. $3 trillion was the previous top. Over here, you can see $3 trillion. That was the top. So this is the level that you want to reclaim. It also lines up with the 50% level from the recent high to the correction low over there, $3 trillion. If we get above $3 trillion, it puts the crypto market in a relatively strong position. It's in the stronger half of the range. And you do expect continuation here, okay? If we can reclaim that. And I also want to remind you guys that the risk to reward for the crypto market is pretty big if we reclaim 3 trillion. So if we reclaim 3 trillion, then we are targeting this as a potential setup. We could take any longs on crypto to this box over here. This is my target for this bull run. Obviously, it took the 2017 top, the 2021 top, and now the most likely 2025 top, this zone over here. And this is my target for the crypto market, for the total crypto market cap. Obviously, I think most of this will be going into altcoins, and I'm seeing a massive move in the altcoin space, especially the blue chip altcoins. But your risk reward at the moment, if this does play out, is a 3-to-1 risk to reward. Okay, we can take longs from 3 trillion. We can be taking profits in this $5 trillion region over here. Stops would go, if you are conservative, stops over there. This gives you a risk reward of 3-to-1. If you are more aggressive, you could put your stop underneath the 250-day EMAs over here. Let's say 2.7 trillion over there. This gives us a risk reward of 6-1, which is a huge risk to reward, and I think likely to play out. So we got a massive risk to reward in a scenario that's likely to play out. Sounds great, guys. It does sound great. That's why I have been establishing my longs so I can build big longs once we retest this as support. So I've been building my trades here. I'm long on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, long on a few others as well, which we can get into later. But guys, basically build the longs now, and we can be adding to those positions later on, and that should, provide the perfect storm for big gains towards the end of the year. Okay, the plan was always to hold for the full cycle. The cycle's not done yet, in my opinion, so we are likely to see some big gains. So guys, I want to speak about SUI quickly. SUI is looking really good, guys. So this is SUI, of course. SUI is now above the 50% level. We were wrestling with it towards the end of last month. We've just got the golden cross here as well. SUI, golden cross over there, reclaim the 50% level. So what I'd like to see is a daily close above the 50% level in this region over here. And that would be the perfect storm for SUI to move, okay? There are lots of altcoins in SUI that I want to speak about in the SUI ecosystem, one being Cetus. But the targets for SUI, the cycle, are going to be $7.57 and $11.22 over there. Obviously rough. We can just call it $7.5 and $11, something like that. But these are your targets, the cycle, and you're looking at about 100% move to the first target and a 200% move to the second target. Very likely, in my opinion. We've got the golden cross. Will we come down into the golden cross before moving up? I don't know. So something like this. Let's see, guys. Let's see. So that's SUI. I think SUI is really good. I think it's been a market leader. It's been in bullish market structure. You can see bullish market structure over here, creating higher highs and higher lows. This is your higher low, and we are expecting a higher high next, guys. Higher high likely to come up next. So what I want to speak about is Cetus. Cetus over here. This is the trade. I've moved my stop over there now, but this was the trade, something like that. 4-1 risk to reward on Cetus, obviously a DEX. On SUI, this is the target over here, 50 cents. Yeah, a little trading idea for you guys. This is obviously the key level over here. Well-respected level over here. And we are now above that level. So we're expecting this to move to the upside. Golden cross is obviously lagging. The SUI as a crypto should be moving before Cetus, of course, and it has been moving, and we are expecting this to move. SUI P, so I'm going to speak about this quickly. This is obviously very speculative and ambitious, but I am looking for something like this to play out. Accumulation zone, push up, accumulation zone, push up, or sell off as well. Accumulation zone, push up, and now sell off. Now I'm seeing an accumulation zone and most likely a push up, and then most likely a sell-off, something like that. So this is a trade that I am taking. 600% move to the upside. Spot is obviously king for this, and don't risk much at all, guys. I wouldn't put any big percentages into something like this. Okay, so what else? Ondo looking good. Ondo's has been kind of chopping sideways. I've been in and out of profits of this trade. Yeah, I would like to see a reclaim of the 200-day EMA. So if you are a conservative trader, what you would be looking for is a reclaim of this, something like that. And then you can be buying Ondo at $1. Once we're testing the dollar region as support, that would be your confirmation that we're most likely going to see higher prices. I've also got bigger targets for Ondo. My target for Ondo is $3. I think Ondo is going to $3. The cycle, it lines up with your Q4 timing cycle. If you take these tops, extend it out there, $3, and obviously RWA is a narrative, BlackRock buying, etc., etc. I've always said that Ondo is a great buy at these levels just because of the fundamentals. When the technicals look scary, we have to remember that the fundamentals are still valid. So this is something that's been valid for a while now. So Ondo, fat trading opportunity here. You could take the trade right now with your stop below here if you are very conservative. And if you are targeting, that 50% level over there, TP1, TP2, all-time highs, that's almost a 5-to-1 risk to reward. So this is a favorable trade on Ondo, guys. Ondo is a favorable setup, in my opinion. The most recent trade I actually took was a Pepe trade over here. Got in yesterday, and yeah, this is halfway to TP1 on a swing trade in 1 day. So this is looking pretty good. We obviously reclaimed the 50-day EMA over there. Nice bottoming candle over there. And looks like we are onwards and upwards over here. You can see we've got bullish market structure. We took out the highs over there, putting in bullish market structure. Bang, higher low, confirming. We broke out. So now what you expect is just bullish market structure, guys. You expect bullish market structure until things change. So this is bullish market structure, higher highs and higher lows. And this is most likely going to happen with something like Pepe. So watch out, guys. Watch out. Watch out. Okay, so what to expect from Bitcoin? A potential rejection here. We do have this expanding kind of megaphone pattern. We are at the top of that, so expecting resistance here. Obviously coming into the 100K region over there. Nice round number. If you had a few Bitcoins and, you saw it over here at 74, you'd most likely be selling, potentially selling into 100K, because 100K is a nice round number. Imagine getting $100,000 for your Bitcoin if you bought it much lower. Sounds like a great deal. Sounds like a great deal. Sorry, just getting a phone call. But guys, again, nothing really bearish about Bitcoin. Let's go to XRP quickly. XRP having a bit of a move. I am in this trade. It is looking good. Of course, we've been chopping around a bit. Took this trade a while ago. I don't know why there's two here. But yeah, stop in, break even over there. Almost got stopped out, but didn't. Nice move up today. If we can reclaim the 50-day EMA, it'll be looking good. Probably get a rejection coming into this trend line over here. And your go point for XRP, if you are looking to get into a long, you'd be getting into these lower levels over here. Wait for a breakout over there. You'd be longing the zone over here. Wait for a breakout and get above the 50% level. Then you'd be longing here again. So what we're doing is we're looking for tiny entries in this zone over here, which we got. We'll be looking for another entry once we get above this trend line, and we'll be looking for a third entry above the 50% level. So you guys can mark all these levels off on your chart. And if we look at Ondo and just go into Ondo with that same kind of thought pattern, let's go into Ondo, it's under RWA over there. So, Ondo was the same, guys. We broke below this level over here. We were buying Ondo at 70, 80 cents, the zone over here. Once we broke out of this downsloping trend line over here, we got long on Ondo. And I said, once we reclaim the 200-day EMA, we're going to be going into Ondo again. And once we get above the 50% level, we'll be going into Ondo again. So there's lots of different opportunities here. So we got in the zone over here. We can get above the 200-day EMA. We can get the 50% level. These are all high probability bounce zones, guys. So it's all about the high probability trades, the good risk to rewards, and scaling into big positions early, getting into those positions, and just building bigger positions as we go up and as we claim key levels as support. That is when you do expect those big moves. Okay. Let's go into a few altcoin requests. I'll do a couple. Let's go. Entry on Tau. I haven't actually got an entry on Tau. Let me have a look at Tau for you guys. Yeah, it's looking good, guys. So now we reclaimed the 50, reclaimed the 200 EMA over there. Bullish market structure. We above the 200-day EMA, as I just said. There was this downsloping trend line over here. This would have been your go zone over here. We are above there, so kind of in no man's land at the moment. If we come down to the zone over here, this kind of $340 zone over here, this would obviously be a nice support zone. 50-day EMA might meet you over there. But once you get above the 50-day EMA, very easy trade. Bang. Get in over there, and then you'd be getting in over there. Boom, stops below here. Target the all-time highs, giving us a nice favorable risk to reward over there. So that would be your kind of plan on Tau. Ondo, we spoke about Tau. Ondo, we've already spoken about Ondo. Okay, let's have a look at Fartcoin and Popcat. Have a look at Popcat first, because Popcat's doing really well. So Popcat, nice move up, forming some bullish market structure, of course, and it looks like it's getting rejected off the 200-day EMA right over there. So key level, 200-day EMA, of course, you would expect a rejection from there. Once we get above the 200-day EMA, probably be looking good, something like that. Retest it as support, then we can be getting in. And what you think is that you just expect the bullish market structure to continue, guys. So if we get above there, price comes down, we'll take a long off the 200-day EMA, stops under there, because if we lose that level, we've broken the bullish market structure. Then we can be targeting that key level of $1. Okay, something like that, risk reward of 3-to-1, which is favorable. So I wouldn't be longing now because we're at resistance, but if you flip this into support, you can long the same level with a much better trade. Okay, and then let's look at Fartcoin. Fartcoin's actually really bullish, unfortunately. Yeah, it's above $1. Okay, bullish market structure for a while now. You can see that. This was the trade idea. I was looking for a move back into the zone over here, and we just missed it. Unlucky, guys, unlucky. We can't get them all. But you can see Fartcoin approaching resistance. If it comes into the 200-day, the 50% level at $1.38, do expect resistance. If we get above that and test it as support, that'll be a good longing opportunity. So look at Sonic. We did speak about Solana earlier. So have a look at WIF and then Sonic. So WIF, dog with hat, of course. Okay, pumping 10% today, great. So, broke out of the 50-day EMA, now tested it as support. You see, we didn't actually lose the level once on a close. But now what you want to see is a reclaim of 81 cents, something like that, guys. This is what you really want to see. This was key levels from previously, if I do get it right. Not too key, but these are the previous highs over here around this 80 cent. So you can expect a rejection from here, but if you can get above the zone, this is a good long opportunity, especially if the market does go risk on. Your stop would be over there, and then we are targeting this zone over here, the 50% level. Okay, the 50% level is an easy target, and this will be coming down a bit more over there. Bang, $2.60. We could be completely offloading the majority of our altcoins, our meme coins. If we do come into a zone like this, key 50% level, massive bleed out over there. Okay, so look at Sonic. I'm gonna put it on Phantom just for some more price structure. Just remember, guys, this is bullish market structure. Okay, even though it's slow and it's frustrating, we are making higher lows, higher highs. So what you expect is a higher high. Okay, keeping it very simple for Sonic. I've personally just gone big spot position on this. Haven't done any fancy leverage. But if you are looking for a leverage long, we are starting to form this bullish market structure on the daily time frame. You could go long from this zone over there, stop below there. It could be a little bit more conservative, and then we are targeting higher levels. We did speak about the fair value gap. There's a big fair value gap on Phantom over there. That's your fair value gap. Big down days with no wicks in between over there. So this is your target. This is your first target. Your first target for Phantom or Sonic is $1.20. Okay, here we're going to reassess, see if it's still worth holding. But $1.20 is your first target for a spot or swing trade. Looking for an entry on WIF. Yeah, I'd wait for that key level EMA to be reclaimed. Let's have a look at Hype quickly. Hype will be the last token we look at today. Hype. It is around here, but I'll have to pull it up again. So hype is looking good. One of the more bullish ones, in my opinion. We did break out recently over here. Okay, you can see a breakout. We did reclaim early this 50-day EMA. So this is looking good. You know, you could get another retest over here. If the market does sell off, you could get a retest back into that 50-day EMA. This would be the high probability trade, guys. We could take this trade, of course, something like that, even come and take these lows out. But you can see if you look left that, you know, it is above that key level of $20. So this is a very key level for hype. You can see support, 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 came down, support, lost the level, tested at resistance. Now we flipped it as support. So if we do come back into this level, it is a key level, and you do expect this to hold up. And your trade will look something like this. If we come back into that level, stop would go below the 50-day EMA and this last low over there. And then, you know, all-time highs. That is your first target. You know, there's an argument about, you know, maybe taking some profits over there, $30. But this will be your trade, guys. Very good trade over here. You could take it now, actually. Nah, a little bit lower. That isn't a favorable risk reward. Minimum 3-to-1 risk reward, of course. So I'd be waiting for a little pullback and stop. You know, stop just below there, something like that. Yeah, it's about a 3-to-1 risk reward at the moment, actually. But you must be able to stomach a move down, because it could easily come down into this $20 zone. But guys, thanks so much for joining the stream. I enjoyed that one, keeping it very simple with Bitcoin, of course. All-time highs sooner than later. In my opinion, we've obviously nailed this move. Big profits here, over 200%. And smiling, guys, we have nailed it. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to stream again tomorrow, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Smash the day. Trade safe.